Welcome Luca, Natasha from the channel Move Me Yoga Life and Food, or Food and Life actually I have to say. So my first question is about that as well, Luca. Can you explain us what the main message is behind your brand Move Me Yoga Food Life?
Absolutely, Rita. Very good question. So we've spent a bit of time thinking about what name we should call our brand, and we decided on Move Me because our aim was to move people to a new way of thinking, living and being. And through yoga, food and life, three of our passions, we wanted to motivate and to inspire people to a new way of living and being.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Natasha, I love that you're doing this as a couple. Were you always this much in sync?
Depends which one you ask. No, well, we've actually been together for 17 years and we met at primary school, so it's a long time of being together, of learning from each other, of growing together. And I think as our journey evolved through yoga, food and life, so did our relationship, and we've kind of just fused into one in a way. So one of the aspects that we do focus on is actually relationships, and that's part of the life aspect of the channel and our work. And what we always talk about is finding that balance of being with somebody that lifts you, that supports you, that guides you, that challenges you, and you'll find that you sort of start to grow in sync with one another and start to work together. And it has been a journey over 17 years. It's not something that happened overnight for us, but that's life. We're just kind of moving together. Yeah.
So who started the journey? Who started with yoga or healthier food or?
We both actually went through this at exactly the same time. About 7 years ago, we were working as in the corporate sector. Luca was a business banking manager Luca was a business banking manager at one of Australia's leading banks, and I was working as a journalist in corporate communications. And we had a big life change. Things just weren't working very well for us in our personal life, in our relationship, and also in our careers. Everything felt like it was falling apart.
We called it a quarter-life crisis.
So we left our work, we packed up our house, we packed up our belongings, and we actually travelled for a year. We took a year off just to experience something different, to grow, to learn, and from that point everything started to fall into place for us, and we were experiencing all of these things together. We ended up living in an ashram in India for 3 months. That's where we became vegetarian first and learned about so many things. That's where the journey really sort of started to navigate down an interesting route. And then each year after that we kept discovering. Yeah, so it was at the same time really.
Good to hear. Well, you mentioned your corporate jobs, and that's actually my next question. So Luca, for you had corporate jobs before. What's the thing, can you name a thing you're happy you won't have to do ever again?
Just one.
You can mention two if you want to.
Yeah, engage in unethical practices. So, sometimes when you work for a corporation, many corporations behave unethically, and in turn as an employee you're behaving unethically. So I'm not a big fan of the monetary system. I think it oppresses a lot of people, and working for a bank I was supporting that oppression, and I feel good that I don't have to do that anymore.
Great, yeah. So Natasha, you are all about helping people on their journeys, the lifestyle journey. What is the best compliment you received from a client?
That's a good question. I would say that we're often called, this is embarrassing, but a dynamic duo. And what we find is that people are sometimes taken by our energy, perhaps, by our passion and commitment. And we like that people see us as standing out, that it's something different from the type of people they meet in their regular life. I think that's one of the best compliments we get, is that we stand for something and we live it. We're not just talking the talk, we're walking and we're living it, and we're an example of what is possible. And because we've come from that background of eating the standard diet, living a standard life, having a house with all this stuff and consuming and being very unhealthy and unhappy, and now coming to this new lifestyle of health and abundance and minimalism and living the way we truly want to live. People see that, they recognize that, and they're sort of taken by it, and they see it as something quite dynamic and powerful and passionate. So I think that's the greatest compliment, is when people are really taken aback and recognize that we are living it, not just talking it. So.
And if I could just add to that, I remember working as lead yoga retreat teachers at a yoga retreat center in Goa, India, and one of the young girls there who'd been one of our students for a couple of weeks, as she was leaving, she said to us, and I can't remember the exact quote because she was quoting someone else, but you know, people won't remember what you said or what you did, only how you made them feel. And I know that touched both of us when she said that to us.
Definitely. Yeah.
Nice compliment. So Natasha, again for you, you are also very much aware that you still have a lot to learn yourselves, and you're still developing. Can you tell us about what you're keen on learning next?
I think we're actually quite new to social media, believe it or not. For a couple of years we were living very, very simply in Ecuador in the mountains. We didn't even have Facebook, we didn't have a phone for about 6 years, and we were just living a bit of a hermit life in the mountains. And we realized that in order to make a difference in this world, we had to come out of our hermit existence and we had to get online, because that's where the majority of people are. That's how we were going to reach people with this message of veganism, of saving the animals and the planet. And we had to get on social media. So that has been a real challenge for us, learning all these technical things and getting in with hashtags and you know, all these things that are, especially the younger generation, are very, you know, they've been born and they've grown up with this social media phenomenon. We didn't even have cell phones in high school, and now you have very young children on their phones, aren't they? So I think learning and mastering social media is our biggest challenge at the moment, but we're getting there.
An excellent bridge to my next question, which is about your YouTube channel. You started over a year ago. So thinking back on your first video and then your last, how would you describe that you've evolved, and what are the lessons learned in between?
Absolutely. Is that for me?
Yeah, that's for you, Luca.
So actually, it's an interesting question, because we recently watched some of our earlier videos from over a year ago, as you say, and yeah, very embarrassed.
I especially love the intro video.
Yeah, I mean, that took so many takes. We were so green, as it were, and nervous, and you know, it was just very awkward actually in front of the camera. And then we grew as we recorded more videos and uploaded more videos and started to get a response from viewers that they were resonating with our message. And then we also learned from other YouTube channels. So, you know, you don't want the video to be too long, because people's attention span is, you know, quite short, as is their time. And so, you know, I guess making the videos nice and, you know, short, tight and snappy, that's been quite an art. And yeah, making the message appealing, fun. People like to learn through laughter. That's one thing we've learned. So our skits where we dress up as women.
Well, you do anyway.
Yeah, they've had a really positive response, and that tells us that people like to learn through laughter, because the message is the same, but it's how you portray that message that really makes a difference.
And I think also just becoming more comfortable and more relaxed and being yourself. So sometimes you get behind a camera and you feel like, oh, I have to put on this persona, I have to switch on. We found the more we just relaxed and bounced off one another and just spoke as though the camera wasn't there, or as though we were talking to friends, the more it flowed and the easier it got. When we have a script and we're trying to be perfect, that doesn't work for us. So just relax and go with it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So for you again, Luca, I have the feeling that when you look at demographics, that it's a very young audience that is attracted to this lifestyle. Do you see a challenge in, you know, reaching people? Maybe because you're mid-30, both of you, right? Reaching people more from your age group or higher up.
Yeah, it's very interesting, the question of demographics, because when we look at who our main demographic is, surprisingly for us, it's actually young females aged between about 17 and 24. We were quite taken back when we saw those statistics, because we had thought that it was our age or older, because typically we tend to appeal to an older audience just because perhaps we've had maybe an accelerated life experience that older people can relate to perhaps more easily than younger people. But it's really good to see that younger demographic is, we appeal to them, because of course they're the ones that have the power to change things. I mean, we all do, but
they're the next generation.
They're the next generation, aren't they?
Yeah.
And if humanity is to have a future, and the planet is to have a future, it's very much in the hands of these very young people. And in terms of the demographic our age and older, we still have quite a number of viewers in those age brackets. And
I think that's almost been a little niche, because they can relate to us more than the younger channels. So we do have a broader audience that moves beyond the 20-something-year-old bracket.
Yeah, I think they perhaps somewhat appreciate maybe our more mature approach, if that's the right word.
When you're not dressing up as a woman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so for the last question for you again, Natasha, what's your experience up until now with the Thai Fruit Festival? Is this your first or second time? And how was it meeting Freely and Durian Rider?
Yeah, this is our first festival. We watched it all happen last year online, and we said, 100%, we have to be here for 2015. So we've had a fantastic time. It's been incredible meeting a lot of people from YouTube, either YouTubers or subscribers and viewers, being in this atmosphere, in this energy of people who have a common ground, which is veganism. A common ethical understanding that we are here to be as one on this planet and to give more than we take. That's just been beautiful, to be able to go out to restaurants and be with other high carbers and order so much food and not be embarrassed to eat in abundance in front of people, to be tested on the bicycle, to be on the bike and riding up mountains and out in this traffic here in Chiang Mai, and just be around people who are constantly pushing you to evolve, to up to the next level.
Speaking of which, Harley and Freely, who organised this festival, we've had the opportunity to meet them both and spend quality time talking to them one-on-one. We had met Freely before, and we were immediately impressed by her humble, gentle, genuine, caring, kind nature, just like the girl next door. No pretense about her, very welcoming, and we were very much looking forward to meeting her again, and also Harley for the first time. And his dedication to promoting this vegan lifestyle, this high-carb vegan lifestyle of health and fitness, is just
incredible.
Unparalleled.
Yes.
And he really walks his talk. That is what I would say about Harley.
Yes.
And he's an inspiration to all of us in this movement. And he sets the bar very high, and we can all aspire to his levels of commitment and dedication to the message and the movement.
And constantly giving of his time and energy. And I think this is really important. When you meet him, he talks to you as though he already knows something about you, and he's constantly trying to help you in some way. So quite simply, he was adjusting Luca's strap on his helmet. Just little things
immediately
like that.
Following an interview that he did for us,
Yeah.
just like that, and it was probably the 800 request he's already had thus far, but no problem, let's do it, let's get it done.
Yeah.
It's very much an action man, they're an action couple.
Yes.
And I think that's what many people find inspiring.
Yes,
is, again,
and it's what the world needs, isn't it? Because again, too many of us are sitting back at home doing all of this and watching all of this and not actually getting out there and doing it, or not following through their actions.
So all the viewers should come next year?
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely. It's great. Whether you can come for a week or for the full 3 weeks, it is just a wonderful experience. And if you're looking for a kickstart to get healthier, to get fitter, to be motivated, to start a YouTube channel, whatever it is, come and be in this environment, immerse yourself in the energy and the passion of people around you, and you will feel like you're coming out of it a new person with a new lease on life and energy. So we can't emphasize how fantastic it is and how much you should all join us next year.
Good. So that's the end of this interview. Thank you very much.
Thank
Most
you.
welcome,
It's
Rita.
been
Thanks
great
for
to have you
having
on
us.
this channel. Thank you.